Are you dealing with somebody in your life that you're feeling is probably a narcissist and you're thinking they always win? In this video, I'm going to talk to you about 8 basic skills that a narcissist definitely can never master. Yep, there are some skills that they'll never be able to master. And I'm going to tell you what they are in this video. Hey, I'm Rebecca Zung. Welcome back to my channel. And I'm going to go through 8 basic skills here that narcissists will never, ever, ever be able to master. You're definitely going to want to watch all the way till the end because, yeah, they can be weak too. I know it seems like they never are. I know it seems like they're so strong. It feels like it's not fair. You think they always get their way. But guess what? You are an empath, and I'm telling you, that is skill number 1 that they are never, ever, ever, ever be able to master. They can fake it. They can even try to fake it till they make it, but they're never going to be able to. You know what they do? They kind of like try to take on the skills and whatever, but they're not fooling anybody. They're not even fooling you. And you're right up close to them. They're really not fooling anybody. And I mean, you naturally feel other people's feelings. You actually get to have real, genuine concern. You get to really understand a person's wiring. You get to genuinely put yourself in other people's shoes. And it's with a narcissist, it's genuinely like trying to ask a person to distinguish between the colors red and green if they can't. And so it's so sad for them because they are trying to feel what it's like to feel empathy, but they really can't. And so unfortunately, they're never going to be able to have that feeling of true empathy. And because of that, they don't ever have that feeling of true connection. And you know what they end up doing is they kind of look around, they try to emulate it, but they really just don't actually ever feel it. So that is a basic skill that they'll never be able to master. And it's something that they really would like to be able to master. And so that is the first skill that a narcissist will never be able to master. And so if you're new here, I know that you're probably an empath. And so welcome to this channel. Make sure that you have subscribed here if you haven't subscribed before, because on this channel, we do empower individuals to become the best versions of themselves in all aspects of negotiation and in all aspects of, you know, sometimes the very first negotiation that you have to do, by the way, is with your own self or your own self-worth in the morning. When you're getting up in the morning, I always say I can't ever leave my thoughts unsupervised, because when you're negotiating, especially with difficult personalities, you have to stand strong. You have to stand in your power. You have to be the best version of yourself at all times. And that means you have to be on your game at all times, right? And that can be really, really difficult when they're constantly trying to knock you off your game and, you know, gaslighting you and doing all the things. So the second skill is self-reflection. This is a skill that they'll never master because inherently they don't want to have to be self-reflecting. It's very, very difficult for them to acknowledge their own flaws, to look deeply at themselves, because that their ego is so fragile. They have truly the most shame of anyone, the most self-hatred of anyone. And so they have to project and deflect all of their faults and flaws onto other people. And that's why they are such fear-based individuals, and they have to have this feeling of control all the time because they're extremely insecure. Being people who are extremely secure, they don't feel like they have to blame everything on other people. They don't have to feel like they have this scarcity mindset at all times. So that's, why they're never going to be able to be in a place of self-reflection. People who feel good about themselves don't treat other people poorly. That old expression that hurt people, right? So they're never going to be able to have that opportunity for self-reflection. They're never going to be able to have that opportunity for growth. And they will never be able to, become better versions of themselves and transform in leaps and bounds the way other people will, because they don't self-reflect the way other people do, unfortunately. So that is a basic skill that they'll never be able to master, that other people can. So that's number 2. And if you guys agree with me so far, put agree in the comments and let me know what you all have seen as well. The next point that a narcissist will never be able to, the next skill that a narcissist will never be able to master is the art of being able to genuinely apologize. The only types of apologies that they issue are what I call faux apologies, meaning fake apologies. They only use them for manipulating. They won't apologize to you because they genuinely feel sorrow or, again, self-reflection, because they actually are, sorry for what they did. I mean, for some people, saying sorry is an act of love. It's an act of understanding. It's an act of being, sorry for something that you did. But if they apologize, it's because they're trying to manipulate you. Everything they do is a manipulation. It's usually because there's a catch to it, or they're trying to, maybe it's sarcasm. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry for, the fact that you were born, or whatever, I'll say sorry when you say sorry, something to that effect. But they're not usually ever actually sorry. So again, a skill they cannot master. The next skill that a narcissist will never really be able to master is that true commitment to somebody, because they're really only committed to a person or an organization or anything as long as it's transactional, right? Meaning, what am I getting out of this? What are you going to do for me? They're only committed to the level of, what level of supply am I getting out of this? Because as long as, once that level of supply, that value decreases for them, then so does your value for them. So does their commitment, so does their interest level. It's all about that depth, that surface level. So, if that decreases, then, they will actually start justifying their behavior to go cheat or do whatever it is that they feel that they should be able to do, because they're not getting their value out of the deal anymore. So, if that's the case for you, then, make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you're getting the support that you need. Go join my free private Facebook group at Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung. You get the help and support that you need, because you don't want to try to do this alone, because it's too difficult. And if you are negotiating with a narcissist, get my free Crush My Negotiation Prep worksheet at winmynegotiation.com, because you do want to be able to negotiate properly. It's a free 15-page e-booklet, and it will help you negotiate properly. So the next skill that a narcissist will never be able to master is listening. I mean, they'll never be able to listen properly. I mean, they could literally directly ask you a question and how are you? Blah, blah, blah. I want to really know. And then the next thing you know, they're looking at their phone, or if they see somebody at a party and they're more interested in that, they're off. I mean, they literally don't care. You're trying to talk to them. They will literally interrupt you. They are just waiting their turn. They're really more interested in you hearing them or speaking than understanding. They don't care what you have to say. They will interrupt you. They'll accuse you of interrupting. It's an endless, a horrible conversation. The next skill that a narcissist will never be able to master is being alone. They hate to be alone. That is their worst fear. As much as they treat you poorly, you leaving them is their worst fear. Their worst fear. That's why it's like push-pull all the time. They treat you poorly because they need somebody to push down and treat poorly. But as soon as you go to leave, oh my God, don't leave. Now my supply is walking out the door. They don't want that. That's very daunting for them. The next skill a narcissist will never be able to master is accepting responsibility. They've got to shift that blame somewhere else, even though it's fully their responsibility. All barrels could be pointing at them. It's definitely somebody else's fault. They will never admit fault, even if it's glaringly obvious that it is their fault. I have been in court before and literally have had another attorney where the transcript was very obvious what the other attorney said. And the other attorney has absolutely said, I know that that's what the transcript said, but that is not what the truth is. It is absolutely crazy, but they will never admit fault, even when it's glaringly obvious, even when it's printed on a page, even if a text message says something, even if an email says something, they will never admit fault. They will absolutely shift blame no matter what. So, and the last point, you ready? You ready for the last skill that a narcissist will never be able to master, no matter what? You know it, genuine gratitude. They're never going to acknowledge you no matter what, no matter how good you've been. They cannot bring themselves to be grateful for you. Don't sit around and wait for it. You know, and there's so many things that I always say. You cannot sit around and say that they're going to acknowledge you, see your side. You know, they just feel entitled. They just feel entitled. So gratitude is not their first reaction, although they think that you should be grateful. They understand the concept of gratitude, but only when it's flowing that direction, not this. Okay, so I'm just so curious. Have you encountered these behaviors in someone you know? Drop me a comment below. Share your experience. I want to hear about it. It not only helps others to realize that they are not alone, but it can be therapeutic for you as well. So drop a comment. And for those of you who are dealing with narcissists, make sure that you get my free Crush My Negotiation Prep worksheet. It will definitely help you. winmynegotiation.com. It will help you level that playing field. And so make sure you get that. And if this video resonated with you and you think someone else can benefit from it, please like this video, please share it out, and make sure you subscribe, smash that notification bell as well for more insights and strategies. Remember, your voice and your power are essential, and together we can navigate these tumultuous waters. We can do this. We can find calm. We can find clarity. We can find confidence. And I always say, it is so time to stop just surviving. It's time to thrive. It's time to level up. So the very next video that I want you to watch is cracking that narcissist fear code, because they are way more afraid of you than you are of them. I say that all the time, and it is true. So let's go watch that video together. It's so time to slay your negotiations, and I will see you in that next video.